How's everybody doing? Just going to run through my Gibson guitars. I am a latecomer to Gibsons. Only started buying them last year, and I kind of wished I was humming and hawing for years about whether I'd ever get a Gibson, and I think I kind of made a big deal about it in my head. So I ended up getting this one last October 2024. These are pretty common. Les Paul Studio in wine red with gold hardware. Obviously I dickied up with strap locks, showers, the new type, and a nice leather strap as well. These are Gibson straps made in USA. They're fantastic. But these guitars, I mean, you can pick them up for, I've seen them go for €750. Really good value for money. I just don't understand why somebody would go into a shop and pay €1,400 for an Epiphone inspired by. Makes no sense whatsoever. Here you're getting USA quality, and this one is nice. It's got the vintage tuners on it. It's a 2010. Yeah, beautiful. The wine red is absolutely beautiful. It's a classic color, and I like studios because the binding doesn't really bother me. I actually prefer them without the binding. Plus, you can see the maple cap on it. You can get this. It's like, it is almost like binding in some ways. They're binding the necks now as well, which I don't really like. It looks a bit weird. This one is all original. It's got the same pickups that it was bought with. And this is the Nashville bridge. The difference between the Nashville and the ABR is that the Nashville is slightly wider, and the adjusting screws face towards the neck, whereas the ABR, you adjust the screws down here. But yeah, fine instrument. It's a good place to start, I guess. If you're unsure. And these are pretty plentiful, and they sound fantastic. I would say that the lots of these out there, and you'll get these with a case, with the Gibson hard case, pretty cheap, less than £1,000, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. I'd be kind of wary of ones from 2011 onwards. Sometimes they might have the robo tuners and all that kind of junk, and the 100th anniversary, and then the handwritten 100 and all that kind of junk. Yeah, I wouldn't be into that. This isn't actually heavy at all, really. It's a bright sounding guitar. I'd say the mahogany body is definitely chambered. You know, there's definitely chambering going on there. And yeah, so yeah, it's if you're on the fence about one, you know, you could buy one of these and muck around with it for a while. They take a little bit of getting used to if you're into Fenders and stuff. Neck isn't too thick, but it's nice. You know, I like the 12-inch radius as well. Frets on this are medium jumbo. They seem bigger than the newer Gibsons because they're plecking them and stuff like that. But yeah, give one of these a shot. You'd probably like it. If you don't, you could just sell it on for what you paid for it. Yeah, they're really nice. So the second one up is Les Paul Jr. This is actually the model I wanted last year, but I just couldn't get one here in Ireland. I couldn't get one in Dublin. I was hoping to get a used one and stuff like that, but this one actually is used, but it's mint, and the case came with it and the whole shebang, and it's from 2023. So I think I did pretty well here, and these are beautiful. You know, one P90, and you know, you've just got the smooth slant bridge, and these things, you know, they're pretty minimal, but they're more than a one-trick pony. They're fantastic instruments in their own right. Again, I got the embroidered strap, whatever you call it. And yeah, these things, this is quite chunky. 50s neck, mahogany, rosewood fingerboard, mahogany body, quite thick. There's a lot of meat there in it. It's clean. These things yeah, these things are great fun. They can rock and shock. Yeah, I definitely recommend these. Yeah, and this is the vintage tobacco burst, which is, you know, one time it was probably something I would run away from. I'd be kind of thinking to myself, what? You know, that looks kind of, you know, but these are beautiful. Yeah, it's got the kind of original 50s black as well. Some earlier models in the last 7 or 8 years have got the brown, but I think the black suits it better. Yeah. So yeah, this is the Junior. Definitely worth getting your paws on. Okay, next up is an SG standard. These things are absolutely ferocious. And this one is a pretty cool color as well, the teal. You know, the cherry is just very common, and it just immediately reeks of AC/DC, which I've no problem with that. But you know, I won't be buying another one of these. Like, this is a one-off for me. So I think that the teal is fantastic. There's a lot of colors in the series. Heavy as well, but they're quite thin. You know, the SG is a thin body. Again, all mahogany, and the neck is very thick as well. This was kind of the late 60s medium jumbo frets, but they're plecked and they feel quite small. They're vintage frets, rosewood fingerboard. There's Grovers on this one, which I like because the automatics are rock solid. You know, and they last for years. And again, you've got the nice mother of pearl there inlay and stuff like that, so it's nice. And the binding on the neck. Yeah, but these things, you know, it's kind of a shredder before its time. Yeah, again, strap locks. You know, you have to use the strap locks because you're asking for trouble. And the problem as well with the SG is that the button here is on the neck and behind it, so you have to put the horseshoe in the opposite direction, which is kind of annoying because you can't use the strap for another guitar then. But you know, what can you do? But yeah, these things are mad. These things are beasts. and definitely work getting your paws on. I said that the last time. Okay, now the SG Junior. This one in delicious dark walnut. These are absolutely amazing guitars, and they're very light. You know, it feels like a toy when you're actually holding it and stuff, but they sound absolutely incredible. Yeah, again P90, and this one has the straight parallel bridge with the lightning on it. Mahogany body, mahogany neck, and rosewood fingerboard. And then of course you have the vintage style tuners. I think these are Gotas. I think Gota, they make them. They're high quality, they feel nice. You know, they're not the cheap ones. Again, strap locks, and of course strap has the horseshoe in reverse, which is a pain. You know, it's a pain, but what can you do? What I really like about the P90 has, it's almost like a built-in compression, so you don't have to use pedals and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I like about them. They're very snappy, and they're aggressive. And of course, the access to the high end of the fingerboard is incredibly easy. So like these were way ahead of their time. these were way ahead of their time back in the early 60s, because nobody was making guitars with that kind of access. Yeah, they must have predicted the shredding thing that was going to come along in the late 60s, early 70s. But yeah, these are great. You see a lot of them out there in the cherry, very, very common. But funny enough, they're kind of hard to get your hands on. Like, you know, you won't pick one up secondhand that easy. Yeah, but yeah, definitely worth the shot. Yeah, finally we got this studio. This one is from '98. This is very, very heavy for a studio. It's hard to believe that there's chambering in this. I doubt there is. It just feels really, really heavy. It's one of the heaviest guitars I've ever picked up. Yeah, and it's a rare color as well, the emerald. Some people say left over from the Gem series, but I don't know. Don't really believe that kind of internet hype. Got your gold hardware. You got Grovers on this one. There is no mother of pearl slab on the fingerboard, so you're getting more rosewood. I kind of like the dot markers, just for a change, you know. But these things are absolutely awesome. I think they were building them better back then. You know, the fit and finish is probably better than a lot of the stuff that's coming out over the last 20 years, you know what I mean? Maple cap on a mahogany body, it's really thick. But yeah, the weight is the thing that really gets to you. I think the weight adds to the actual bass frequencies that come out of the instrument. Whereas the low end growl is massive. Yeah, so that's it. That's all there is to say. And thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and take care. The amp that was used in this demo is a Marshall TSL 602 triple super lead. The pedal board is this one right here. All I was using is the booster preamp, the overdrive, and the delay at different times. No compression was used at all.